Welcome to the border of like Utah and Wyoming area. It's kind of where we're out here. This is David Herrera, the solar athlete, one of the most awesome, interesting people that I know. Just really cool friend. Thank you so much for having us over here to your home gym area, which when you're posting some videos of this stuff online, I was like, wait, where are you training? This is so cool. Because it's just like, it's so hardcore. Like this is, the title of the series, Hardcore Home Gyms, this one really matches it, and you're a phenomenal athlete too. David is a beast of an athlete. His best powerlifting total with reps is 1,978 pounds at just 192 pounds of body weight. He's a great source of knowledge for training information. Plus, he's a great source of knowledge on the power of the sun, hence his nickname, the Solar Athlete. Let's really get back into this hardcore home gym thing with one of the most hardcore home gyms I've seen yet.
So I have just a standard BowFlex dumbbell set that goes up to 52. The other one pairs over there.
Yeah.
Kettlebell, I have two of them. I use them for all kinds of movements. This one goes up to, this is a 70, whatever, 32 kilo.
Yeah.
And then that is actually my barbell for the K-box.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that's the priciest thing in this gym.
Yep, it is by far.
The gym, the sun pin is what I'm calling your gym right now because it's kind of like a fenced-in area.
Yeah.
But you do have some parallettes, nice.
Yep.
Guys, if you didn't know, you can make these yourself. You just get some pipe and you use the pipe glue.
Yep. I use them for actually push-ups on the K-box.
Oh, so you put the harness on you?
Mm-hmm.
K-box, okay.
Yeah.
So you're the second person that has one of these. Pat Mac's driveway gym, which was the first episode we've done. He keeps 90% of his gym equipment outside, and the only stuff he takes inside is like a skier G, from what I've noticed. But he had one of these too, and he's using the crap out of it. So you're sold on this as well.
Yep. I've had mine for 4 years now.
4 years, and it's been outside the whole time.
Not only out here for 2 summers.
2 summers though, like this thing is robust if it can last.
Oh yeah.
And all this is really cool. So this one's from K-Box.
Yep, so the Eccentrics.
How'd you get into using eccentric training as a power lifter? How'd you find out that this worked?
So I wanted to, so I was experimenting around with like unloaders and stuff like that. You know, the ones where you have the weights that are hanging off, and when the barbell comes down, then they pop off.
Yeah.
So it worked really good for my squat.
You were trying to overload the eccentric.
Yeah. Okay. So for my squat, those worked really, really good. And I'm like, I got to find a way to do that for my deadlift. I came across this, and it literally was in the name, Eccentrics Training, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of interesting. So I kind of just Googled it, and this was when they'd only been around for like a year or two.
Okay.
And I built one.
Oh, you built your own?
I built my own.
That kind of goes with everything else going on over here.
Yeah.
The house he's building is really interesting, but you built your own.
Yeah, and I built my own out of wood and pulleys, right?
Yeah.
And just to see if it would work, right? And it did. It kind of worked, but I could tell. I'm like, yeah, I need better bearings, right? And so I Googled like what kind of bearings they have in here, and sure enough, the bearing is the most expensive part in this.
Okay, so these aren't cheap.
No.
But the bearing is so expensive, you were able to justify the price.
Yep. By the time I got to the grade of bearing that I needed, I was paying like $3,000, right, for a set of bearings.
To do your own, you're like, okay, at this point, I'm just gonna.
I am actually responsible for a little development. So this is the standard knob that comes with it. This is called their Pro knob. That I helped design for them. Because I needed more tension.
Oh.
See, normally it comes with 4.
You're too strong for it.
Yeah.
Well, your best deadlift is near 800 pounds, isn't it?
Yeah, 810. Yeah. With this knob, you can only do 4 plates up. And then I'm like, if you just shave this off, right, this one more plate and then another plate, and just make this section right here, I can add 6 plates now.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, we'll do that. We'll send you the first one.
Okay.
And so then I tested it for them and it worked just great.
There we
so
go.
I ended up with the very first one of theirs.
Aside from that, let's move on over here. You have your standard plates.
Some of them are standard. These are custom.
Olympic plates. Your regular normal plates.
Yeah, these are custom made.
What?
Because
what's the other side?
This is just steel.
This is
a 90.
Oh, that's 90 pounds.
Yeah, that's a 90 pounder.
Look, when I look at this, it's like you see the back of someone's head and you turn around and the back of the head is on the other side. It's like, where's their face?
I needed more weights. And the prices of free weights went through the roof. So I just went to a steel manufacturer and gave them the specs of that.
Yeah.
And told them to make me.
How much did it cost you?
$200.
For a plate?
No, for 4 of them. I have 4 of them.
Okay, there's no point in this series where we haven't run into the common thing where make friends with welders.
Yeah, yeah, or manufacturers.
Or manufacturers, and you will have all your wildest dreams come true.
Yeah.
From Grizzly Sled to all the stuff in Donnie Thompson's gym.
Yeah, yeah.
To Jen Thompson having a welded attachment she's been using for 40 years. Always make friends with a welder. Now, this you said was
First barbell.
First barbell you've ever had.
Ever had, yeah. Yeah, it's about 15 years old now.
Where'd you get it? Did you buy it, or did you get it from a gym, or?
I bought it from a CrossFit gym.
Okay.
And they sold it to me for 20 bucks.
That's a good price. See, guys, having a home gym doesn't have to be expensive. If you know a welder and you know where people are trying to get rid of stuff,
yeah,
it's amazing.
Yep, and it's everything still spins. The reason why I have it out here is it's a little bit bent. It's got some rust on it and stuff like that. That's how literally what it looked like when I got it.
Yeah, but rust kind of helps.
Yeah, it
does.
does.
The rust actually kind of helps with the grip. And a good barb, do you leave it outside?
Yep, yep.
How come my barbells can't be left outside?
Yep.
Now, see, wait, there's something kind of interesting. He's not wearing sandals, guys. Now remember, his nickname's the Solar Athlete.
Yeah, so these are grounded sandals. And normally, after I get warmed up, I just take them off. I just train in my feet.
And with the podcast we're doing, we're going to be talking more about that. What is this?
So this is a homemade
yoke.
yoke.
This is a yoke. I didn't even realize this was sitting over here.
Yep. This is a yoke. So cement, concrete piers, and this was just scrap. Yeah, it's around 400-ish pounds.
Am I just going to do this raw?
Unloaded. Yeah. I usually work up to it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Nice. Now, you have a powerlifting background. Do you do any strongman stuff too?
Yeah, so I've competed in strongman competitions. Yeah, and local competitions I've won here and there. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
but you do train people.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I train people for strongman. I train people for all sports. I have some MMA athletes. I have some strongman athletes, powerlifters, bodybuilders. It's about 50% of the people. Other people come to me from the solar athlete perspective.
Right.
As far as like just wanting to be healthy.
Basically optimizing things.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Or you can call it making the ideal scenario in order to be as productive and energetic and happy as possible.
Yeah.
So over here, I see you got a makeshift shoulder rock.
Yep.
And what's this made out of?
So that's just all thread. So that's just 1 inch all thread. That way I can thread these to whatever progression I needed. Right.
Okay.
So like you can make it shorter, and obviously the lever arms a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You guys have seen this before, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, that one. This is my warm up before upper body type stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and even in between, right? Like superset in between other things, which is kind of my favorite way to train, is just keep going.
Yeah. His rest periods don't exist, but when you have your work capacity built up through all the special things that you do to kind of create that ideal environment for that work capacity, I've learned a lot from you in terms of that. And now my rest periods for my training, like for the same weights, is like cut in half or lower. This is the area you train in. You usually superset a lot of things together.
Yeah.
You have a gym bag over there.
Yeah, gym bag. That's the only thing I move out of the weather. That's where I keep all the gear, straps, bands, homemade front squat harness.
Oh, well, let me see.
So if I
this is like, I think this is more for cueing than anything else.
So I'll show you. There's a second part to it.
Oh, okay, because I was like, that's duct tape and stops.
Yep. So it goes right here. And then see, you just come on over here, and because I don't have the mobility, right? I don't have the mobility to
for that.
Yeah, I don't have that. So I just made this.
It works? Oh, I guess so.
Yep, there we go. Just like that.
And you don't have to push back very much with weight on there?
With weight, the more weight, the more you have to push back.
Is that like an ankle cup?
No, so this is this is for horses.
What?
This goes underneath. This is a cinch part for a horse, right? So the saddle sits on top of here. One side goes to the other side of the saddle, and this is the other side. And this would be right here on a horse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just went to the cattle store.
Oh, you're a horse.
Now you have a much thicker neck and trap than mine, so this will be.
We're in CPAP territory.
Yeah, there you go. You can't really crowd over, or it'll, yeah.
Oh, I got you. Is it even? It was a little uneven. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm kind of stuck.
No, you just pull back. Pull back. There you go.
Okay. I was like, wow, I'm about to be in the what's it called with the in medieval times.
Yeah. $10 at a Murdoch's
Wow.
a ranch supply store, and then this was just scrap wood. With this, I've squatted 465. With this.
What kind of kettlebell work do you do? You have one kettlebell?
I have two. It just the other one's right over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kettlebell stuff, like I really like kettlebell long cycle for like warming up.
Yeah.
Right? Like so you know you can go the single.
Okay. What weight is that?
70 or 32 kilos.
Okay, about 70 pounds.
Yeah.
Just nonchalantly, that's not bad, man.
Yeah.
No,
and
that's pretty
then
good.
the other thing I really like this for like almost like lunge type patterns.
Okay.
Right? Like so here's one. Like that post right there.
Yeah.
I like to set it up against the post and just kick against the post. So you develop explosiveness from the bottom. So from a lunge position with this glute, all the way through to actual full extension.
Oh, I got you. Now wait, speaking of post, you do have some bands up. You do a lot of rotational strength training.
Yeah.
Where do you fit that in your routine? Because like, let's say, all right, so kind of off course here, SBD, you got a powerlifter who's training the 3 main lifts. A lot of people do that 4 days a week maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you put rotational work into what, if someone was training that pattern? What day?
So
like where does it go?
I usually put that as a warm up.
And warm up. Okay.
Yeah, a warm up or in between sets because I don't really rest a whole lot of time,
Yeah.
right? Like if I was prepping for a powerlifting meet, there would be mandatory rest, right? But in between, I'm just trying to build up work capacity.
Yeah.
So I'll include some rotational work in my rest periods.
Okay. If you guys didn't know, a little neat band trick, you can connect bands to one another. A lot of people don't even realize you can do that. It's really good for stretching too.
It is.
When you have a longer band, the gradation allows you a lot more degrees of, you know, like resistance in different parts, so you can dial it in perfectly. But yeah.
Just kind of step back, lean back, and I just kind of let it catch my body weight.
Yeah.
And then I just use this to kind of keep them together so that they're not flopping around and hitting you in the face.
Yeah.
And then I'll just step back and do a press one-sided.
Does it
right?
tear off your body hair?
No. So press one-sided.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of those, maybe I'll do 1, 2, 3.
All right.
And then I'll just turn around and do the other side.
I'm going to ask the question that everyone hates: reps and sets.
Because it's one-sided at a time, I usually keep it around 10 to 15
Reps total.
for one side, and then I'll just switch to the other side.
Okay.
Right, so it ends up being like 30 total
Gotcha.
seconds.
See,
But-
I like that because a lot of people will program unilateral work and they'll just program it like bilateral work. I'm like, it takes too long.
This hand's gonna keep these tight right there,
Yeah.
and then this one's gonna do the pressing. So
Okay.
you step back with that one, and then press through with that glute. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's almost like a fly/press type of movement that you're gonna feel.
Oh, right. Oh, I got you.
Yeah. And then
And
at
this
the
is
same-
just holding it, right?
Yeah, but now when you rotate, engage this lat. Try to
Okay.
pull it around with that lat.
Oh, I got you.
Right? So now you're
Yeah.
working both sides of the sling.
Is there a certain amount of range you want with this?
So I just go into full tricep, wherever your tricep fully extends.
Like that.
Yeah. And then the beginning part on this one is engaged. Yeah, there you go, just like that. The main reason why I like the rotational work, especially because for powerlifting in general, is because everything is so static.
Right.
And so you get really stiff right here, and it's really easy to like, not joking, like literally just bend over to grab something, and now you've screwed up your back or whatever.
Right.
Or it just seems to kind of loosen things back up, so you can move around normally.
Yeah.
When you're not doing your powerlifting stuff.
I've found myself that I've had no lower back injuries or pain, but I've had pain at the beginning of 2023, and it kind of built up over time because I was not doing as much acrobatics, which is really violent twisting, like really aggressive, like explosive twisting my whole life. Cut a lot of the twisting moves out of my repertoire, and I started having low-grade back pain. And it took me a while to figure out, like, wait, I used to do that stuff all the time. I added the twisting stretches back in, and then within 2 weeks, it was just gone. I was like, well, that was it.
This type of stuff, I consider it kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's why, like in between, like like for example, one of my favorite workouts out here is, just because it lends itself well, is a few of those rotational presses or rotational movements right here.
Yeah.
Followed by some front squats or some deadlifts, and then some jumping or sprinting through all. Yep.
Oh, the side lawn?
Yeah, off the sideline, sprinting back and forth.
Yeah.
And then a small rest period, like a minute or two, just to catch your breath.
I got
and
you.
Then you repeat, right?
So this is outside. You do explosive sprinting, jumping, bounding, leaping, stuff this way, bouncing.
Yep.
But you also have the cardio machine on your deck over here,
Right.
as well as your office over here. Everything's kind of outside.
Yes.
So now you're building a house,
Yes.
but it's not a normal house. Do you
No.
mind giving us just a little peek of where this is going?
Yeah, absolutely.
With some- and building it himself. Usually construction sites have construction people there to do construction. You are the constructor.
That's right. That's right. 100%.
So all this stuff is just stuff you've paid to rent, borrowed, or just have out here, and you've just learned how to build a house, I suppose.
Yeah. Then this is past experience from when I was in high school and stuff. I had a lot of summer jobs in the construction world, a lot of cement work, a lot of framing type work.
Yeah.
I do have a friend that I pay to come and help us with all of the framing. But for the most part, I have done almost, I would say probably 80% of the work that's here, right? As far as all the way from the foundation, putting all that up, doing all the framing, and then putting up all these trusses and putting it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you're big about being outside a lot.
Yeah.
It's the name Solar Athlete.
Yeah.
Your gym has to have some sort of way to have some sort of sunlight come in.
Yep.
Including the rest of your house.
Yep.
So can you tell us, can you show us where the gym's going to be and what you plan to do with it? How many
Yeah.
square footage it's going to be? How you plan to,
So
build it in a way so it's optimized for sunlight exposure?
Yeah, so one of the first things was from the ground up. So when I was prepping the cement work for the pad here, I actually have this pad grounded with about 4 extra electrodes than normal as far as code, because it's extra insulated and I have in-floor heat in it. But I want to be able to just be barefoot in this house and be the same as if it was outside.
Right, because certain surfaces aren't good for grounding, like asphalt, rubber.
Right.
Sealed floor, like my gym, doesn't count because it's got sealed concrete, but this is unsealed concrete with extra grounding rods through it.
Yep, extra grounding rods through it. And then when when it's finished and it's got tile and stuff in it, those will be bonded together. The concrete will be bonded to the upper layer, so that that's also grounded. In my gym, it'll just be a bare concrete floor.
So this will be a garage.
This is the garage. Yep, two bay garage
For a
here.
really big car. Two really big car garage.
Yep.
But then instead of having a garage gym, you're just going to have a gym behind the garage.
Right.
Which is kind of cool.
Yep.
So it's not a bad space either. This looks to me to be about 800 square feet, 900 square feet.
A little under 800. Yeah.
Okay.
A little under 800, and then it'll French doors at the back, right?
Okay.
So that way equipment can come in and out really easy.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Yep. So I didn't necessarily do a roll-up door, so I just did French doors. And then there will be on that side there will be a sidewalk / patio there, so I can do my strongman stuff out there.
Oh.
Right. So right here, when this is finished, this French door will open up to like a 5-foot wide cement run that goes all the way past my driveway.
Kind of like the one I have outside of my barn.
Yeah.
Which was honestly one of the best things I ever bought. Like, it's one of the greatest investments I ever did. It's expensive. That driveway was expensive. It's 100 feet, like 16 feet wide outside the barn. But it was, dude, I use it more than almost anything.
And this will have a solar tube that comes down into this, so it'll be lit through sunlight too as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even understand what the solar tube is, but I'm pretty sure, Brian, thank you for editing these videos. You can Google image solar tube and throw it on the screen for all of us that can't picture it in their head. We're about to hit a workout right now outside in the sun den, but I really appreciate you having us over here. I'm just so fascinated by all the projects you've thrown yourself into. You're the epitome of someone that learns by experience. It's just like, you got to figure it out, sink or swim and everything. This is why you're like a polymath. You can do so many different things.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. So,
in fact, that's probably the one thing that I like to convey to most of the people that either hire me as a coach or a consultant. I'm like, because at the end of the day, people they almost want to be reassured. I'm like, there's no reassurance out here. This is the real world.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you either do it or you don't. And if you've done the work, there will be a consequence. That consequence may be good or bad, and you just reassess and keep going.
Yes.
Right? Like that's just how it works.
You have to learn or else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody can guarantee you anything.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it is.
Well, there you go. Do you have any recommendations for people who want to build their own home gym or need some sort of, what are your thoughts? Just off the top of your head
So
for
as
that?
far as like, if you have a space, it doesn't have to be, like for example, this gym right here is about half, my gym that I was in my basement was half this size.
Okay.
Like half this size.
Oh, yeah.
Like this big. Just
Okay.
enough to fit a power rack in, and on the other side was a deadlift.
It's like an extra bedroom in a small apartment.
Yeah, yep. So number one is, if you're worried about space, it doesn't have to be that big. And number two, just like you saw out there, to get things done, it takes very little equipment, and you just have to be creative with like putting tension on the body.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's really the simplest thing of, don't worry about the space, don't worry about the quality of your equipment, just as long as you're able to put tension on the body in some way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Let's get a workout in.
Yeah, let's do it.